I'm just thinking if I follow you, there might be an option of sticking the GoPro on the rear of that and I can film myself from there. I might try that, that might be quite cool. I'll have to stay hot on your tail with this, which is a bit of an ask. So once again, I've come up to my family home to visit my dad, my brother, and do a little bit of riding as well, to stretch the legs predominantly on my CB 1300 that I affectionately term Black Bess, because it's big and intimidating. But that also gives me the opportunity to ride my brother's VFR 800 for the first time. Not a bike or an engine that I've tried before, so I've always been curious, and it is nice to get out and experience it. So I'm just going to give you a little short review, first impressions of a VFR 800. I can already tell you from riding it here that it's impressive, but it takes some getting used to. Come with.
Okay, strap done, jacket done, other strap done. I know for a fact he's going to be enjoying himself more on that than he did on this, because he absolutely hated this. I understand it's very different. Again, just for context, my dad rides a Ducati Monster more often than not, so Ducati Monster S2R, little toy of a thing compared to these two. Wide bars, kind of comfy, and it will be very cheeky on the corners in comparison to this, which you have to ride like a sports bike, and obviously he's just not a big fan of sports bike riding. It's nice and pretty up here, isn't it? Spoilt for views, we really are. So if we're talking engines, the reason I really wanted to try the VFR is because I've never tried a V4, and I want to see what difference that makes to the 4-cylinder setup. We all know 4-cylinders have a reputation for being smooth. I'd say this one's next level smooth, almost to the point where there's no kind of definable characters or feature to it, other than obviously accepting the difference that the V-TEC makes when you hit, I think it's 7,000. I haven't been paying too much attention exactly to when that's jumping in, but I can feel it now. The first time I went on this, didn't feel it quite so much, and then this time I'd say I am noticing it, probably more from the audio perspective. I can actually hear when it jumps in more than feel it perhaps. But it really is a smooth engine. The other difference, and the other thing that I was curious about with the VFR being a sport tourer, is how far they push that sport element. It's not too aggressive a sports style, but obviously you can feel it. If I had to define exactly what that difference felt like to me, it's kind of like going down a slide face first as opposed to feet first. If you load up your arms, you've got a lot of weight over that front wheel and you are leaning quite heavily forward in comparison to something that is more traditionally upright, like the CB up front. Takes some getting used to, and obviously it takes all sorts as well. Some people I'm sure would really like that, some people are more than used to it, and some people will hate it. I think that's the case with my dad. He's not a sports bike rider, I don't think he ever has been really. And you get him on something where he's comfortable and he will lose you. And if it weren't for the fact that we're recording and he's trying to be courteous to me and stay within my eye line so that that camera is usable, I'm sure he'd have shot off round these bends. No hassle. This is unquestionably my favourite section. For good reason. I absolutely adore it. It's so nice. It's stiff, it's kind of sporty, and it's kind of smooth. And I kind of like it. But to be perfectly honest, out of the two, I don't think I'd be fighting him for the keys, and I think I'd be more than happy on Black Bess up there. I love it. I love the look of it. I love the riding of it. I love how big it is.
It all came back to me. Out of them two, I'd be selling that and I'd be keeping that.
Because it reminds you of your 1000.
That then compared. Yesterday was good. Yesterday was good anyway, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, it's a long time since I've been on a heavy bike.
Yeah.
And so there was a little bit of intimidation. I thought I was going to go on that first, and then go on that.
Yeah.
Get used to it, but it's the other way around. If you are confident and you are a good rider, that is a way capable bike.
Hell yeah.
I need you more.